Anyways, welcome to episode 6 of the Catch All Podcast. Even though I told Josh I'm dropping episode numbers. Welcome to the Catch All Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. I got a co-host, Josh. And this is our podcast where we share with you our gaming experiences and sometimes talk about the news. So
it's sometimes a component of the show.
Sometimes, yeah. So we're going to get into what game you play. No surprise, we're still playing Fire Emblem.
I mean, technically, I have now gone almost 36 hours without playing Fire Emblem.
That's amazing. Like Fire Emblem, I started working it to my work schedule because I'm back on normal hours, which means we have an hour lunch. I bring my lunch, which takes all of 10 minutes to eat, if that. And in 50 minutes, I play Fire Emblem. So what I do with it now is, while I'm home, like every time I get home, like I go through all the story stuff, I go through the support things. I usually like go through the support chats while I'm eating dinner. Because it seems like an idea. And then I get into
I did that too, actually.
I think I'm getting to the point now where I did it today, where I get to a point where I want to battle. Or a story battle. But mainly just the regular, like, I choose to battle for this day's event, and I just start grinding for money and experience. And then when I get back home, I go back into story stuff.
I mean, it makes sense. It's a good way to break it up. I typically never did main story stuff when I was sitting on the couch with, like, the kids, for instance. Yeah. But when I would save all story stuff for, like, night when everyone was asleep. But then I would go when I was on the couch with everyone. I would be like, okay, I'm going to grind out levels, or I'm going to, class stuff or what have you, or just, dick around and explore the monastery or fish forever. Because
I never expected how, like, interested I am in the dialogue itself. Like it.
So you said last week. Yeah.
Yeah. I expect a lot of it to be cringeworthy, and some of it is, but for the most part, they're actually having like interesting conversations.
There's a lot of interesting conversations. Like,
anything with Dorothea is awesome.
Anything with
Petra's awesome.
Anything with Dorothea or Petra is awesome. For me, I thought Ferdinand and Lorenz would be two of my most hated characters in the game, but then and I end up liking them with a lot of their support conversations with other people, but their support conversations with each other, they are now my favorite couple, even though they only go up to a B class conversation, and that's, the game doesn't really represent queer in any way, shape, or form, but still, in my head, they bonded over tea and crossed the boundary that is the Empire and the former current whatever alliance.
That wasn't good, Josh.
It's my headcanon. Yeah, for me, the reason I haven't played the game in 36 hours is because after 80 hours, I finished my very first Fire Emblem game. For those who want to go back all the way to episode 1 of this show, the original episode, I stated I've never made more than 20 hours in a Fire Emblem. Usually takes me a month. And in less than 3 weeks, I got 80 hours and beat one of the storylines in the game.
Nice.
Rolled credits, and
I'm like really curious. Like, I want to go back and play even the same storyline once, let a character die, and see how much it actually affects everything.
I'm curious.
Because like, there's some that I wonder if they weren't there, do these things still happen? I'm thinking like not any of this, like the story moving characters.
No, I know the people in your house, essentially.
Not even just your house. Let's say like the two main story moving characters for. I almost said the Red Eagles because that's what they should be, but the Black Eagles.
Yeah.
Like Hubert and Edelgard.
Well, Edelgard, every single mission, it says Edelgard and Byleth.
It doesn't let you do it. That's right. It ends the mission or you have to roll it back. I guess I can't have it with Edelgard.
But Hubert can die earlier on, to my knowledge, unless it's a case where he's like, like he bows and I'm sorry, my lady, I must take my leave.
I must retire.
Yeah, so maybe he can't die. He just retires somewhere, kind of thing, and he comes back. But I'm curious about Hubert. I know everyone else can die because I literally had a mission. So in one of the close to final missions, I managed to kill off in one turn Petra, Ferdinand, Caspar, Felix, and Bernadetta, all in one turn, got wiped out.
Yeah,
I rolled it back, to be clear, but
we mentioned to a point like, the game's so easy, I'm so overpowered, but there's a point in the game where the difficulty just jumps.
There's
as far as the levels go.
Yeah, point where the difficulty just suddenly jumps, and then there's also the final boss fight. I saw John post online our buddy Mr. Negative, that wow, that final boss was really difficult. And I thought to myself, okay, well, according to the Switch, you beat the game in 40 plus hours. I'm at 80 plus hours. I played, I leveled more. There's no way this is actually going to be difficult. You just were under leveled, was my thinking, getting cocky. That final thing is fucking hard. For the Black
that's where you realize, all that time was spent running around the monastery, not actually leveling up.
Well, I spent a lot of time leveling up. The recommended level for the mission, I think, was 39, and almost my entire party was 45 to 55.
Yeah, I'm in chapter 15 right now. I feel like I want to get all my people to 40 now.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. But yeah, so
I got them all to 30, so I can start masterclassing them. Except, of course, I don't have their skills to that point yet where all of them could do it. Only select a couple do. Surprisingly, one of mine got a masterclass off of 40%. I'm like, okay.
I've done a 31% masterclassing on one person. Yeah, I rolled credits on that game with my Byleth character learning. He mastered, not specifically like master level, but he mastered 14 classes, I believe. Mm-hmm. 2 of them master level ones. And he had A were viable, but B, because a few things are B, can't get higher B, but A were viable with a max level support with every single person viable in the game on the route I was on. And yeah, that was a ridiculous thing. I actually got like most of my characters at the max support levels with them. But what's interesting is, unlike most games, this I had a feeling when I was heading into the final battle. I'm like, I wonder if the next thing's the final battle. I wonder if the end of the month is the final battle I'm heading to. But I'm like, but I've seen people on the Blue Lion path post like a thing where it's like Dimitri being like, are you ready for the final battle? Mm-hmm. And I didn't get that when I was playing this. I thought, I'm not at the final. Nope, turns out I was at the final battle. And I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing it. And I'm like, wow, if I knew this was the final battle, I would have played longer, because like I had been working on getting people up to like different classes and stuff like that and doing a bunch of things. I would have gone and done that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I ended with the max A+ professor level and about 700 pieces of bait that I had nothing to do with.
That's the point I'm at right now. I'm trying to grind up professor level, and I'm getting difficulty with that. Yeah. But I realized I'm not fishing at the right times. I need just to find one of those special fish days. Just go at it for a while.
The best time to fish if you want professor levels is the days where you catch multiple fish, because the fishing levels is based off of the quantity of fish you catch. So you get like 10 to 30 on average for most fish. But if you get a day where you're catching multiple fish, you can catch like, on a perfect cast, like 4 to 6 fish. So that's 30 XP every single fish. Ooh. So it's good. The problem is that day only pops up like twice in the entire game.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think if where you're at, it doesn't pop up again.
No. Okay. That sucks.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. But yeah, I want to talk more Fire Emblem like so badly, and I want to like, it's such a struggle for me. Like here's what happened last night. So one of the games that I want to make sure I put on my list. So I played a game we're going to talk about a demo of, and it was the first time I fired up my Switch since beating Fire Emblem. I fire up the Switch, and what ended up happening was Fire Emblem loaded up, and I immediately clicked continue to go start my next playthrough. And I'm like, nope, that's not why I'm here. I hard quit out of the game. And I'm like, something mentally like screwed up with me. So like, we need to launch our Fire Emblem podcast so we don't have to disrupt people's catch-alls with pure Fire Emblem talk anymore.
Yeah, or that's just what the catch-all is now. But yeah, we're gonna stop with the Fire Emblem because we're trying to make a special place for that.
We're going to make a special place for it. I will say, though, as of right now, 80 hours in, one storyline complete, there is a very strong possibility this is my game of the year. I will say that much.
And the thing is, like, if I break down this game to each part of what it is, I was like, I would never put game of the year for that type of game.
Yeah, no, but never.
No, it's... I don't know why. It just does everything so well of what it's trying to do. And again, I usually do not get into these, like, God, I know there's a word for them with, it's just how they present the story. I can't think of it, but usually I definitely don't get into those. strategy games I can play only so long, but I actually really enjoy the battles on here. And you would think it's just a weak game if you just look at it like that, but it's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just the presentation so well. The characters are just, I don't know, you get so invested into them that you just want to know what happens next, and you want them to do well, and you want to progress the story, see what happens, because it takes some twists and turns here. So anyways, yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome for sure. I'm definitely very happy with it. And again, we will stop subjecting you all to this talk. We'll save that for a different show that I may have already made all the stream graphics for.
If I get into my next spot, I'm going to rant for a while. So let's go ahead and hit everything you have.
You want to hit everything I got? So,
yes.
And no, Pirate King, we are not subjecting you or feeding your masochism or Fire Emblem. We've literally done at this point on this particular branch of the Catch-All podcast 2 weeks in a row of like 35 to 50 minutes of conversation each week.
Don't worry, we are at the point now that we know we need to make an outlet for this.
Yeah, and
we will.
It's literally 60 to 70% of what Justin and I talk about now with each other. There will be more. It sounds like your pirate TV show. Just you need that outlet. You need to get that out in a specific venue. Mm-hmm. For my stuff. Okay, so I rolled credits on that. What else we got? So the game I was referencing earlier. I tried out the demo for Oninaki.
I have downloaded the demo for Oninaki.
Well, I brought it up on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and hold on a second. I'm going to see if I actually don't want people to see this, so I'm actually we're going to throw up the intro scene for a split second, just so I can open something and move it to my other monitor. We're going to bring it back now. Sorry, I just want to make sure I pull up emails and I know there's something personal in there. This is game Oninaki. I saw, I'm trying to open up an email and now my computer's completely frozen. Great. So I saw Imran Khan of Game Informer discussing this game, and I was curious about it. So here's the about. In an Oninaki, players will follow the story of Kagachi, a young watcher whose duty is to usher lost souls into the next world. After meeting a mysterious girl named Lynn, his fate becomes entwined with blood and death. The Oninaki, the demo features extensive gameplay options, deep story mode. It lets you get up to a certain point in the game. So, based on what Imran wrote. So the game starts off, and this is what I experienced in the demo. The demo starts off where your parents have just died, and you're like a little 3 to 6 year old kid, and you start to feel really sad because your parents died. But in this world, apparently, when people die, if you feel grief for if people die, it is a known fact people reincarnate. If you grieve for someone, they get lost and they can't be found. That's when these watcher people help find them and guide them back on the path to reincarnation, because not reincarnating goes against the laws of the world, essentially. Everything on paper about this game sounded really cool to me. I played the demo for about 45 minutes, and it just crystallized in a moment. I'm like, this is not the game for me. This is not the game for me at all. I was bored the whole time. The combat felt very repetitive. I don't know. It just did nothing for me. It was a pretty enough game. The audio was good, but it gave me the option to find out more about a character in a little cutscene thing, and I was just like, I just don't care. And it kind of just reminded me of how I felt with Octopath Traveler, where it was like I played it a lot more, but I just got to this point where I'm like, this just feels repetitive and I'm not enjoying it. Because I just think in general, I'm just not that kind of style of JRPG person anymore.
Gotcha. If you're wondering why Oninaki is kind of popping up in conversation now, they are just it's from that RPG factory. They put together I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, and also it's just some key people in there, just pretty much legends in the JRPG as far as just pedigree goes. For sure. And
then the game comes out August 22nd. So
yeah, Yoshinoro Kansei? Sorry. But they had people that work on from Final Fantasy VI to Chrono Trigger to Final Fantasy VII's. I mean, it just is deep pedigree in this, that RPG Factory, or Tokyo RPG Factory. It's why people are like really paying attention to these games. That's the thing about Oninaki. Like I was like listening to the story, the whole reincarnation bit of it, and like how that is. That's the thing they know happens, and that is pretty much the religion, and how the game plays into that seemed very interesting to me. Like when I heard it explained, but again, like I myself haven't jumped into it yet, so I can't really say much about it.
I think it's enjoyable. I think it's definitely the people who would play, like, this is the way I word it. The people who would play this game, I think would enjoy it. But I mean, it's on Switch. The demo's there. I think it's on other systems. I actually don't remember. I got a code request form for it. So yeah, I think it's on, let's see. I think it's on PC as well. I'm not.
Yeah, I know it's on PS4. I know it's on Switch.
Steam, PS4, and Switch.
Okay.
So like, the demo's out, I think, on every platform and whatnot. So I say,
try it yourself.
Try it yourself, kind of thing. Just it wasn't for me. Last week I talked about a little bit, very briefly, about the Church in the Darkness. I was supposed to stream it last Wednesday. I wasn't able to, and then I essentially just threw like 30 minutes into the game before the stream, just so I had something to say on it. Since then, I streamed it on Thursday, and so my experience last week, just as a reminder, I was playing in handheld mode with my broken ass Switch Joy-Con. Which, Justin, you're gonna be very happy to know. I relayed to Charnel your response about my Joy-Con issue and the things you said, and she looked at me and she said. And I said to her, and I think I ended with, I'm like, it just never occurred to me that I should just send back 2 to 4 of them and keep, 2. You send 2 sets back and keep one set, and then send the final set back when those come back. It just never occurred to me, and Justin pointed that out, and she's like, yeah, well, Justin's smart, you're not. So you might be happy to know that.
Oh, yeah, like actually I put remember to get an update just here nonchalantly so I can actually, because one thing I wasn't going to do this podcast, like, Josh, how's your Joy-Cons doing?
Yeah, so Joy-Con, Yosemite, the Joy-Con crisis has not been solved because I still have not actually sent them back.
Oh, damn. Never mind.
We don't actually have we have a lot of large boxes. We don't have anything good to send them back in.
They don't send you a box?
No.
Oh, I thought they sent you a box. Okay.
No, they sent me a link to. They sent me a link to, I think, the FedEx website to print out a shipping label.
Gotcha.
And then it said pack it well. Essentially said it heavily implied that if this arrives damaged, they won't repair it. So pack it well.
You could like roll up to the FedEx store. You said UPS or FedEx.
FedEx.
Doesn't matter because you can go to either of those, and I'm pretty sure they got boxes. I'm pretty sure they'll package it for you.
Yeah, but they charge you for it.
Yeah, they do, Josh. That's how things work.
Okay,
they provide service.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay money to send back something.
Okay.
Also, if I get a box from like Home Depot, I could get the size box I need for like $1. From FedEx, it's going to cost me like $10 for all with the box and all the packing material.
Just giving you ideas, Josh. Just giving you ideas.
I appreciate the ideas, but we'll probably pack them up
when you get the business cards
tomorrow, something like that. And no, Yosemite, do not have. We literally threw out an old iPhone box that we had like the day before this issue happened. So anyways, regardless, we're gonna send it back. That's not an issue. So anyways, I was playing Church in the Darkness this time on handheld mode, and the problem with it was, as I said, that like I couldn't control it. It's a stealth game, and I was having difficulty with it. I'm like, I know this is not the game. I'm giving the best review I can. Well, this time I played on stream for like 2 or 3 hours. Pro controller, game is good. Game is legit good. At first, I kind of was hating it, so I was playing on the normal difficulty. I ended up lowering it down to the easy difficulty because I figured, there's something about the mechanics I'm not understanding. So the difference between normal and easy is normal mode, the cone of vision, you have to hold the button down, and it only shows when you're holding it down. On easy, the cone of vision for the enemies will stay up for about 3 seconds, I want to say, after you hold it down. So you're not you can walk stealthily, but you don't have to like hold a button down. For some reason, that little shift made it easier for me. I got better at learning the distances. Also, in one of my first playthroughs with it, I came across like randomly something I hadn't seen in my previous thing, which was like the change into the clothing of the village, which makes everyone's cone of vision smaller. So I was able to explore better. I was able to take, stuff like that. And yeah, I did a playthrough where I actually came across because the actual cult leaders are on the map. So I came across thinking I couldn't decide should I kill them and stuff like that, and what should I do? I found the guy's nephew, and it actually said, okay, he doesn't want to leave, so you can either try to convince him better, or you can just leave on your own. And so anyways, I ended up meeting with the cult leaders, and at one point I finally got, after 3 attempts, because I kept dying trying to do this, I managed to get to the male character cult leader, who's the actual leader. His wife instigates and stuff like that, but the guy is in charge.
Okay. Sorry, I missed this. What were you playing it on?
Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, no, still playing on Switch, but I playing it with the Pro controller instead of handheld mode. And yeah, so I was talking to the cult leader, and it gave me an option: join the cult. And I was like, oh, well, I'd rather actually shoot him, or actually, I decided strangle him, and I decided I wanted to kidnap him. That was what I decided in the stream that I wanted to do. I wanted to try to see if I could throw him over my shoulder and walk all the way to the extraction point, because the extraction point happened to be pretty close to where I was. Well, in the great infinite Josh wisdom, I forgot what button I had to hit for strangle, and I hit the join cult button instead. And I lived happily ever after with my nephew, while my character's sister sent angry letters about kidnapping her son. I just like
how the thought process goes. Hey, will you join our cult? No, I won't. How about I strangle you?
I guess, yeah. I guess I will. Kind of thing. So. Yeah, so I ended up joining it, gave me that an ending, and then here's the thing: after the game ended, it unlocked. So once I didn't know it did this, but once so you can choose a loadout at the beginning of the game, which is 2 items you take in with you. You only start out with 2 options of what you could take with you, but every time you come across an item in the world, it adds it to your next playthrough that you could take it with you. But beating the game once unlocked, I think tranquilizer guns that can now be found in the world. Okay. So beating the game unlocks more stuff for future playthroughs. It also apparently adds more characters and more options for getting through the game. The game has a shit ton of endings. So I'm theorizing I joined the cult. I'm I wonder, I could probably kill my nephew. I could kill the cult leaders. I can kidnap my nephew. I can kidnap a cult leader. I was thinking to myself, wow, there's a lot of variables and options. It's
a very games that I found out kind of like Graveyard Keeper. It's a game that you really shouldn't be talking about your thoughts on stream.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a game that if you just take the clip in of itself without the fact of what game I'm talking, I should preface what game I'm talking about every single time, because otherwise I sound like a fucking psycho. But yeah, I'm actually honestly, even saying what the game is, I probably sound like a psycho, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Game is beautiful, very simple but very beautiful. The audio is a little bit annoying because it's constantly the PA system, the cult leaders are doing the indoctrination stuff and going off. Apparently they added a streamer feature that you can change the volume of that, because during stream it was even with the way I keep my stream, it was actually talking over me. So yeah, but overall really good experience, something I'm going to continue putting more time into, and just kind of just be that game where it's you know what, I'm just going to play this for 20 minutes because I got some time kind of game.
I'm really interested in it. I kind of want definitely try that one out.
I would definitely look into checking it out. I think Switch is the better place to play it, but I think it's available on a bunch of other options.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's fun.
Just another game I'm excited about. Talk about it. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, which Pirate King brought up in chat a little bit ago. So I watched his stream last night, and I finally got to play it today, and I went with his opinion, which was I went into the game blind. Aside from I watched, they put out a video that is like a 45-minute how to play the game video. Yeah.
Not to mention you had my PAX rant, which I'm pretty sure you blanked out in memory.
No, I remember it very well. My favorite thing still about that video is someone popped in and said that we got every single detail, every single fact, completely and utterly wrong about the game. And then I reached out to the PR company and the developer, and they were like, "No, you're good." But one random person was like, "We got every single detail wrong." It's the only comment on the video. But yeah, I watched Pirate King play it last night, and then I streamed it this morning. I had a shit ton of monitor issues and problems like that, so I didn't get to stream it as much as I'd like to. But I just realized, I think my camera's moving. I feel like Oh, too far. So I got to adjust it just slightly. There we go. I feel like I was like sliding off the edge there a little bit. Anyways, so yeah, so I was playing it. The game starts you off like in this little junk hauler kind of thing, and you can just kind of just take off and explore. All the things about the game say that this is like the spiritual successor to like Freelancer and those kind of games, right?
Yeah, Freelancer.
Single play. What's that?
WoW, Wing Commander, stuff like that.
Yeah, the main one I always see references like Freelancer, which is the only one I really have experience with. But like, there's a main story kind of thing,
or even like the old TIE Fighter X-Wing series.
Kind of, yeah, definitely for the combat component. I'm trying to figure out where my chair needs. There we go. That's where my chair needs to be. So, but like I referenced Freelancer specifically because Freelancer had a thing where there was a main storyline, but you could just fly off into space and do whatever the fuck you wanted. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. There was, there was a big open world kind of thing. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of playing EVE Online by myself. Kind of thing where, I'm just exploring the world, this space and stuff like that. And that was like kind of my thing. The game is difficult, even on the normal difficulty setting. But the way it works is they recommend playing with a controller, and like you're flying around space and, you're trying to target enemies. And even if you're really good at these kind of games, if you're at all rusty even, like trying to keep up with the target can be a pain in the ass. They have this like auto pursuit mode. You literally just hold down the L2 button or your left trigger, and whatever you're locked onto, and you could switch to what you're locked onto, it just tracks it. It'll jerk around like a motherfucker sometimes, but it tracks it and you could fire at it. And yeah, it ended up being overall like a really good a feel to it. But what I like is it's a space game where I'm like whipping ass around, and I never felt like nauseous. Mm-hmm. Okay. Some games do that to me. Pirate King says it's difficult but fun, and that's the thing. It's so much fun. I did a few story missions far enough that I was able to recruit a guy. You get these buddies, so I got my first buddy in the game to come help me with stuff.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I can tell the sun is getting right in those eyes.
Yeah, give me a second, actually. It's starting to bother me, so I was going to finish my rant. Yeah, like...
There you go.
Oh, much better. Much better. Let's see, if you haven't played a game like it in a while, play the easiest game mode. That's what I did. I haven't played one in a while, so I went to easy game mode. And even then, it's got some difficulty and stuff like that. But yeah, so I was having a blast playing it. And just getting to explore and upgrade my ship. I added a tractor beam, I added a jump drive, I added some new weapons to the ship. Everything's really customizable. Cool. You can change your power flow where you could you can have it balanced. You could put more power to the engines, the shields, the weapons.
All right.
You could explore space. You can communicate with people. There's you hit on like the PS4 controller, you hit the share button, and like you could talk to the target ship, and you can either try to, you can enrage them, you could taunt them and essentially flips them off, or you could say, hey, whoa, sorry, dude, made a mistake. Yeah. My favorite moment is I picked up contraband at one point. Sorry, let me finish this rant, then
Yeah, go ahead.
I picked up contraband at one point, forgot I had the contraband, tried to dock with a station. It's like, and they're like, we're going to do a contraband check. And in that moment, you could see my screen going like, oh, I forgot I have contraband. And I'm like, oh god, I don't really want to jettison. What do I do? And of course, they find the contraband. They start firing on me, and I immediately go like, whoa, hey guys, hey. They start firing at me. I get 1 star. And I'm like, whoa, hey guys, my bad. And they're like, oh, it's cool, don't worry about it. And then I went and landed on the station anyways.
Okay, it's a little broken.
I don't think it. I think that was I don't know if that was a glitch or something. It was a weird moment. I eventually ended up jettisoning the contraband. What were you gonna say, man?
Oh, okay. Pirate King mentioned you can paint your ship, and that. Let's not undersell how much you can paint your ship. From what I remember, they essentially built Photoshop in this game.
Oh, you can see me pull it up during the stream, and I just freeze. It's literally Photoshop. It's not even
it's a very high quality image editor.
Yeah. And the first thing I say during the thing is, okay, Pirate King had like some amazing shit on his ship. I don't know his artistic talents, but like he had some, as I said, this is always interesting. I don't know his artistic talents, but like, holy crap, he had some amazing stuff. And then somebody says in the chat, can you put a Concal or a Bear Punch logo on it? I'm like, I don't know. So I was trying to figure it out. I ended up like, I couldn't figure out how to do a stencil. Again, I was like, I didn't want to like stream me trying to figure this out, so I was trying to rush it. So like I ended up making a spray essentially, and it was just black and white, and I was like, okay, I don't like this. But the next time I play it, I'm gonna throw a Bear Punch logo on it, and I'm gonna throw a Concal logo on my ship.
Yeah, fun thing about that, if people don't know, do they advertise this part in the game as well? If you love your ship so much, you can actually send off and have a 3D made, like 3D printed. Yeah,
they do advertise it. They've advertised it a bunch in their Discord and stuff like that, but literally, if you just hit... Yeah, as Pirate King said, it's not available yet. They had a... if I remember right, they had a retailer they were going to work with, and like last minute... okay, Pirate King said in chat. Because the 3D printing company got bought at the last minute, so everything's being moved around. So anyways, it's delayed, but it's still going to be a thing, because literally when you're in there, you click File... I think it's File, and it's just like send to 3D print.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it will come once everything's established. So what, like, you could design your ship, trick your ship out, get the ship you want, and yeah, it's really fucking cool what's available. And as Pi said, but if you have a 3D printer at home, you can 3D print it in your house.
Yeah, but like at the company, I think they actually paid it with the paint job you have, right?
Yeah.
Or at least that's what they advertised originally. Who knows what's going to go with this mix-up.
No. That's still the plan. Everything is going to happen the way they promised it, is what they've stated. It's just not going to be right away.
Do they still have the burnt? I imagine not, but when I tried the demo, they had a photo of Burt Reynolds for like smoking in the van, which I imagine they took out.
I did not see that.
So you could put on for your dashboard or whatever like that. I did see it. Did I see this right in the review I saw? Did they have the Falcon from Falcon Age on there?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, for 200 credits, you can buy the Falcon from Falcon Age. I bought. They also have the Astroneer robot, the Astroneer astronaut. So awesome. I have a little Astroneer guy on my dashboard. I think I can get both, so I'm going to get the Falcon Age one as well.
I love when like indies do this. Like they both like give little shout outs to your indie buddies. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. As Pi said, they changed it with a real character who kind of looks like Smokey. Gotcha. So, like, yeah, there's stuff you could decorate and stuff that has like
because Pirate, I think you played this. I'm pretty sure you played the same demo at the same PAX I did, or saw it.
Pi also has been like he played the same demo as well, and then also he's streamed it forever last night.
Gotcha.
I feel like at least.
Yeah, no, it's the same because like it was Burnt Windows. That's why I was just like they even mentioned it. That's going to change. Obviously, bad taste at the moment when they did it. Not on their end because things happen. But anything else you wanted?
Well, Pi mentions the cost of this game. It blows my mind right now. This is a $30 game. I'm only like 3 hours like in playtime on it. There's a lot going on in this game, and it's crazy. It's only $30. I also feel bad for them that it released the day before No Man's Sky Beyond released.
Because that's my problem right now.
That's the problem. Is it's the other space game. And that's like the big issue with it is like it's the other space game, and I feel bad because they're this. I mean, both companies are small indie studios. No Man's Sky is just an established small indie studio.
Yeah.
And Pi's saying RGO is greater than NMS, and
but have you tried it? And we'll get into that soon.
I think they fit so completely two different niches. I don't think they're actually comparable at all. But the last thing I'll say on the game is the game has a shit ton of music. Which if you're a streamer, you can hit the button that makes it streamer friendly. They got the license that allows you to use their music within the context use license. So if it's part of a stream, part of a YouTube video, you can use it. They got it for everyone except for one publishing label. So you hit this button and it doesn't play. It doesn't play that one artist.
If I understand, like a lot of music sounded like that twangy cowboy space.
Oh, that's the main like score of the game. But there's like a Latin rock station. There's a quasi metal station. There's a somewhat EDM station. There's classical music station. There is so much fucking music in this game. So our buddy Vanessa from Gaming Access Weekly was watching the stream earlier, and at one point she just makes this comment that a couple hours in, she's like, honestly, I'm just loving the music in this game. Like, she's like, I'm just using this as my background. And it's like, she essentially implied she only watched my stream so long because the music of the game was so good.
Vanessa.
That sounds like Vanessa, but like it's the music in this game is gorgeous. Some games you play and you're like I'm a person, I don't play other music. I just listen to what the game does, but I don't feel bad about it. Like it's nice. It fits the motif they're going for. It fits the view. Long story short, I'm having a blast with the game. Next week, this might be surprising. This isn't the full review, but next week I will have like a more full, well thought out review. This is just me throwing out some thoughts.
I can't guarantee it, but I definitely do want to pick it up and probably play it this weekend. But I have other things grabbing my attention.
You have other stuff, but it's it's on the Epic Game Store. Unless you're like our buddy Tom, who has an actual legitimate issue with Epic, just pick it up if you're interested. Is my response. Mm-hmm. But it's worth it. It will eventually come to consoles. It's planned for the Switch, and I like it so much right now. I might pick it up for the Switch at some point.
Yeah, I'm actually that's what I'm debating if I want to wait for. If I'm going to wait for it to get on the Switch, because I definitely would open up when I would play it where I would play it. Oh yeah, PS4 and Switch. I haven't heard anything about Xbox yet. So
yeah, no, it's just PS4 and Switch. That's all they've talked about. They've said in their Discord they are interested in Xbox, and that's it. But there's I think is so probably maybe knows more and can correct me for this, but I think it's later this year. There's some licensing issues is the main issue. So anyways, the game is good if you like space simulator kind of things, that kind of thing. If the game is just referenced are your jam, then this is probably your jam.
You love the animes, you love stuff like Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop. That's pretty much what that is.
I can't
you can't
say
comment on the anime. Okay, gotcha. All right, so this is one thing that is distracting me. Clearly, I did pick up the Valve Index as I mentioned last week, and probably the week before. I remember, but
just last week. Last week was the birth of our Fire Emblem podcast and our VR podcast.
So I'm just like cannonballing, or more belly flopping into the PC VR world. There's always stuff I was interested in, but now like I'm doing that thing. It's like, oh, that looks fun. I spent way too much money lately. But granted, most of the games I bought are like $10, so it's not horrible at all. Actually, one of the games I'm more disappointed. Well, not disappointed, but I think it costs too much for what it is. It's like $40, but still, that's not bad. A couple things we did. My friend also got the Valve Index as well. He's probably the one that talked me into it, and then me actually getting it is the one that pushed him to get it sooner. It's a vicious cycle. We both
the cycle of friendship gaming.
Yeah. No, I'm still doing stuff like I'm still messing with Blade and Sorcery, which is awesome. And VTOL VR is very awesome. Like, which if you don't know what it is, it's VTOL aircraft. Well, actually, more than just VTOL aircraft, but it's pretty much. It's arcadey as far as like, 'cause it's not 100% sim, but it tries to balance the line between sim and arcade. Yeah. Where like every switch does something in there. You got to know how to turn on the aircraft, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But getting to the other stuff, we did jump into some Arizona sunshine. Here's the weird part, especially with the Valve Index stuff, because you play some games where like they incorporated the grab controls or the finger controls, or just the grab controls in general better in some games, and then when you get to a game that doesn't do it as well, it just feels off. Arizona Sunshine's one of those where the regular controls is probably fine. It's just now I'm so accustomed, like I'm like spoiled that it doesn't quite feel the way I want it to with the shooting goes. But it's still fun. If you don't know what it is, this is pretty much a VR first-person shooter zombie game. They do get a horde mode, but there's also a campaign as well with more open areas, and you can play it with, I think, up to 4 players in co-op. I played it with
sounds
a friend.
Familiar.
Yeah, I think you caught some of the stream that were messing with it a bit. But yeah, it's fun. It's cool. Pop some zombies in the head. Shooting feels a little off, and grabbing stuff feels weird. It's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you just put your hand by your side. No, your gun's in your hand. But that actually happens in most of these shooting games I played. We also tried Zero Caliber and Pavlov, something like that. Zero Caliber is right now just, hey, you get your loadouts, you go do missions. You can do it with co-op people as well. Like that one's like you also do up to 4. So right now, not competitive multiplayer, but they're going to incorporate that eventually. I guess this is pretty much be what best way I could put this for what Call of Duty would be like in VR.
Okay.
And that's not putting it down whatsoever. It's actually really fun, really engaging. Like you feel like I actually kind of put my hands down the way I would like hold a rifle or something like that when I'm moving. The way you take cover, like you actually take cover and actually peek out to shoot stuff. It's just, I don't know, it feels so natural, so right. But again, like the touch controls are a little off in this. I probably should try it without them. And even with the touch controls, you still have to like a button to actually like grip onto certain stuff. So it's kind of weird. But you also saw me play that one too. But it's fun. The gun customization is pretty fun in it too. As you play the game, you can unlock more stuff, but you can also find stuff in the game, like in the levels you're doing to adjust your guns, like put on different sights, laser grips, different stocks, all that goodies. And then Pavlov is more like this is pretty much like Counter-Strike would be if it was VR. It's actually exactly what Counter-Strike would be like if it was in VR. There is a bot mode, but it's pretty much going against each other. I forget if it's 4v4 or 5v5 teams, but it also has that system where, I mean, they do have where it'll spawn you random weapons. They do have where you can do loadouts, but the main game mode is where like you start off with a pistol. As rounds go, you get money, you buy a better gun. There's different game modes within that too, like planting a bomb. But yeah, it feels very tactical. Except we did play a game where someone came in, named themselves God, and they're just headshotting everybody right off the back. So the hacking's in there, which sucks because that just ruins everything for you, especially in a multiplayer game. But it's cool. Like I feel like I am way better at VR shooting games than I am first-person shooter games that like mouse and keyboard controller. It's just like it's so just accurate, exactly what you expect. Your actual accuracy is the accuracy in the game, not how well you can play with a mouse. So it's cool. It's awesome. But that one game also was fumbling with my controls. Like I was trying to shoot a guy, like crap, I'm out of ammo. It's like, how do I eject the mag? It's like, oh, there goes the mag. It's like, oh no, I grabbed my knife, not another mag. Oh, I accidentally threw the mag. I just dropped my gun. Someone's over there. Panic.
Panic, throw the gun around, flailing.
No, that's the thing. I went to reload a gun, accidentally threw my gun at him. I'm like, oh, that doesn't do anything.
I mean, I've been there. Yeah, I feel
it's
that.
Like, it's much worse now. But still, awesome game. Pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Next one we'll get into, if you're wondering why I looked a little exhausted, just a little,
Yeah, you're schwitzing a little bit. You're a little spent.
Fiction and like all that stuff. I downloaded Thrill the Fight, which is a boxing VR game. Most VR boxing games, at least right now, the main one people talk about is Creed, which is also good from what I hear. But that one's also pricier. Thrill the Fight is like $10. And not only that, I think Thrill the Fight is more sim-based boxing, where Creed is more arcade-based. Like, for example, Creed, you actually have a stamina meter in game. There's a bunch of game mechanics which governs what you do. And Thrill the Fight, you are your stamina meter. Like, if you're getting tired in game, you're going to be throwing your punches slower, not as precise. And that's how the game detects how hard you hit.
Okay.
Which is pretty awesome. I think there's other, like, I need to research to see exactly how some of the other stuff works in there, because I don't want to, like, say it does this when it doesn't. Has one person jumping and saying I got everything wrong on this.
I mean, but the thing is, like, that's actually still just the idea, the fact that your punches determine stuff. Like, you were describing that to me yesterday, and I'm just like, I want this.
Yeah, like, I did a 3-round bout before I jumped on the podcast, which was a big mistake. I think Josh saw how windy it was, how much water I was drinking. Like
you were downing water, and you looked like you were gonna
I did. I went 3 rounds, and I was exhausted because like they are blocking directly, doing that. Like you got to pick your punches, you have to guard while you're doing it. It's just really cool, man. Like when they hit me, I feel like I kind of feel woozy from it, because it does do like effects. Like if you get knocked real hard, it will mess up your vision. I think they actually get to a point like you can get cuts in the game, and they'll actually do some visual stuff on that as well. He knows who that's to. And yeah, it's really, really freaking cool, and it's something you can legitimately use as a cardio workout. Just like I would say Beat Saber is also something you use for a cardio workout. Like you will get exhausted in game. How well you perform is how in shape you are.
That's amazing.
Yeah. There are some difficulty sliders, but like the first guy I played was immediately like, oh no, this is ultimate hard mode. Because I even tried to play it around, like just when it was like, like just do a slap fighting, did not work well. Did not work well. My dude got rocked. But like, yeah, you hit the dude's cuts starting to open and stuff like that. It's being built as a boxing sim and not just a boxing game. Like, even does like if you get close to the dude and do a wrapping motion, you can clinch. Like, it's that in depth, so it's pretty awesome. So yeah, that is a thrill to fight. Highly recommend it. But another game I got to try out, something I was heard about. Really want to do, had to figure out how to make it work because it's only on the Oculus stores. It's Oculus exclusive because that's a thing with VR. But Vader Immortal Episode 1. Now, if you don't know what Vader Immortal is, it is a episodic series. As you play, I forget the name of the character.
I'm assuming not Vader.
Not Vader, but the story revolves around Vader and happens on Mustafar.
Okay.
Because Vader is searching for something in the depths of Mustafar.
All right.
And then it starts off, you're in a ship with your sassy droid, because sassy droids are in now.
Mm-hmm. It's all the rage.
It's a really good sassy droid. Really good sassy droid.
Wow, I definitely, the first time you said it, could have sworn you said assassiny droid. Sassy makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, sassy. Just straight up sassy. It's sassy shit left and right. And you start off on the ship. You get to walk around your ship a little bit. It does you can do teleport moving or free moving, like with the joysticks. So it's not like just a roller coaster ride where it takes you through stuff or shooting gallery. And well, some parts are, but yeah, you can like mess with the ship, mess with the models. You have to actually like do stuff on the ship. You actually get to like hop it in hyperdrive, which is really cool and it's really awesome to see in VR. And like a story game is just like, yeah, you're going that. You get taken out of hyperdrive, which the Imperial Army or Starfleet does too. God, I'm getting like a lot of things mixed up with the different empires. That's like you get to see like in VR, like look up at the top window, you see like a Star Destroyer come above you. They take control of you and land you at Mustafar.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you're immediately greeted by I forget the Admiral names too, but he looks kind of Sithy. He like half his face is kind of robotic. He has a robotic arm as well.
Is it Screed or something like that, or is it someone else?
Might be. I have to double check. He
sounds like I don't even know if he's in the new canon or the official canon or not. But in the old EU, that was someone. So
yep, and basically like Vader himself sees you at the beginning because he wants to see if you can open a specific cube, and that seems like what he's just been pulling people forward to see if he could find a specific person that it reacts to. And I won't go any deeper into the story because it's actually pretty interesting. Unless, that said, I actually might do a stream of the whole thing sometime this weekend. But as far as the combat goes, you got to imagine deals with Force stuff. And what do you want to do in a first-person Star Wars game that you get in VR? Have a lightsaber, and that's all it is. As far as the lightsaber combat, it is pretty awesome. And it's a game mode too. They have the story, which again, it's going to be episodic. Right now, just episode 1's out, and then there's just like, I think they call it like Darth Vader's lightsaber dojo or something weird like that. So you can just mess around with it where you fight droids, and the two different fighting styles. Like there are some droids that do have like lightsaber like weapons that you actually like have to clash. Like they pretty much do combos, and you just have to like match it with a block, which feels really good when you do it, and then go in for some splashes. And then they do have stormtrooper stuff that shoot at you. Same thing with some droids that shoot at you that you can actually reflect the blast back at them, which feels really good as well. They do have some puzzle stuff in there too. Yeah, so you do get a Hydra spanner to like hack out or open up elevators and stuff like that, and they make like little puzzles when you do that. And yeah, it's just really freaking cool. Like, I really want to get the story because it's really good. I really want to tell Josh about it, but he also would be mad if I spoiled it for him.
I don't even know if I would. Yeah, I probably would, honestly. So now that I actually have like my VR stuff is finally starting to come together, yeah, I would like to experience it before we can talk about it.
There's some parts that are like, I don't know if it's just how I'm playing it, because like I am playing it with the Valve Index, and how I do that is a program called Revive, which it links your Oculus library to your Steam, and it maps controllers to an Oculus controller. It pretty much emulates your VR setup as an Oculus setup. Okay. And lets you play Oculus stuff that you have on the Oculus store, and that's how I do it. It's actually really easy. You just install it, a button pops up on your Steam dashboard. You click it, your Oculus library pops up, and you're good to go.
Nice.
So it's really easy to do. But like the controls are weird, which I think you can change the mapping on them, which I need to do because like one of the triggers will turn on the lightsaber, and also the touchpad, which my thumb hits a lot, turns on the lightsaber or turns it off. The grip controls are kind of off too. Again, I don't know how it is on Oculus. Probably way better. But yeah, it's fun enough. It controls the way you would want it to control, pretty much. Except if you're one of those people that want to flip the lightsaber. I mean, if you flip your controller, you can, but it's not like a Blade and Sorcery with the Outer Rim mod install where you can like throw a weapon up, catch it on the back end, and then go at it. God, that game's so good.
Yeah, I know. That's you talking about that last week. I keep thinking about that game.
Another game that will also exhaust you. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you got Oculus, or even if you got the other VR to play Oculus stuff, do it. Especially if you got the Oculus Quest, grab it. How can you not already? It's also, I think each episode is going to be $10. As far as I know. The episode 1 was $10. And it's an awesome experience. I'm glad I did. Another gripe I have is, like, there is a point in the game, Vader is fighting and you're fighting too. But you really want to see what Vader's doing because it's really well choreographed. But you have to pay attention to your fight. That's slightly spoilers too, but whatever. It's good stuff. So next thing I'm going to get into, which I did not get, I got to play roughly 30 to 40 minutes. We'll also like incorporate this with the news. No Man's Sky Beyond has launched today, and it's a lofty update. Now, for anybody who's familiar with, we'll say the game size of No Man's Sky, like it started off not a huge download. I think it was less than a gig. The update itself is like 4.8 gigs. Okay.
No, you're supposed to keep talking while I'm typing stuff.
No, but I can. I have problems. But no, keep going. I can still do it. But yeah, I got to try a little bit No Man's Sky Beyond in VR. And oh boy, it is a different experience. One I'm not used to yet. So I have to. I'm like fiddling into controls, trying to figure everything out. But at the moment, it's cool. Walking feels awkward, but same thing. You do teleporting, or you could do smooth motion. Ship controls feel really good, but also awkward at the same time. But looks amazing. So,
okay,
we'll get into some of the patch notes real quick. Some of the big things is they completely redid textures on the ship, so they're highly more detailed, and your cockpits are actually highly more detailed as well. And this works with the VR. Now, if you're wondering how the ship controls, as far as what pops up in VR, like the only thing is a throttle and a joystick, and that's pretty much how it controls the ship. With both of those, and you use like the joysticks on the actual like controllers to like roll the ship, choose your weapons. Each hand does something different. And being on that note, being on the ground, as far as how do you change stuff and how you interact with the menus, if you turn like your left hand over, you'll see a square. You move your right hand towards it, which will start to point. Then the menus will pop up, and you literally just point at what you want. Feels pretty cool. Like how you equip your minor blaster gun. You reach behind your back, and then you grip on the controller, or imagine some will be a button press. And you got your gun, and then how you change stuff on the gun, you take your left hand, put it towards the gun, then a menu pops up where you can change like what type of mode it is. On top of that too, like
wow,
for like your scanner, you have to reach up by your head, squeeze, that'll turn on your scanning mode, and then you point your gun at what you want to scan, and that's how you scan stuff.
Oh shit!
I think the right side will do the pulse. It might not be that; it might be something else. But basically, like you do on the right side, that's something else too. But yeah, it's very cool. Visuals though look really weird, but they have different options I haven't got to fully explore. So you have like, oh, what do you want to do? Medium, high, ultra, or enhanced. But enhanced is between low and medium, so I don't know what the hell that means. I need to look into this.
That's okay. That's weird.
Yeah, you can change frame rate on everything. But with VR, like it does VR different on PC than I've seen most. Because like if you look on do anything in Steam VR, you'll actually see the game pop up on your screen, which is like what's running in your headset. And for the most part, most of them are like just what the game would be, but not what you see. Like No Man's Sky does it kind of like how 3D TV and stuff like it do, where it actually pops up two feeds of the game side by side, and I guess it mixes it like that to get the 3D image.
Okay.
Perception. So it does that a little different too. But yeah, it's really cool. if you haven't, if you've been kind of like sitting on No Man's Sky or something you played dropped, I say now is definitely a great time to get into. I mean, they changed a bunch of other stuff too. Like NPCs are now programmable where you just don't stand; they actually roam around and do stuff. You can sit in chairs. That's actually an update note. They added more missions. They added more depth to pretty much every bit of this game. There is a Nexus, which is just a big place to meet people. They say now it is in mass multiplayer game where you can run into other players, not just invite them in to play with you, which was on the last update. Like you'll actually just randomly run into other people in this huge galaxy. So I don't know what the odds actually are of that. I definitely haven't seen it yet. But the visuals in VR look kind of weird. There's definitely some glitches. Like I see a bunch of like sparks, like I hit something, just keep popping up. I'm like, what's happening there? Like it was like it's a collision issue or something like that. And like the whole visuals kind of look like I'm underwater, like it's wishy-washy. I don't know if that's my headset. I don't know if that's just not optimized for everything. I don't know if that's my graphic settings. Again, I haven't got that much time to play with it, so I have to, mess around with the options and crap.
I'm looking for the update next week. I mean, honestly, I'm excited about it. It seems like they've really went beyond.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like I could play in VR with somebody not playing in VR too. Like if I want to do like a group game, there's a whole load of patch notes. I highly just recommend to like look it up. It is a hefty update.
I mean, this is their big, major, massive update, so makes sense.
Well, second one or what's it? Third? I don't remember. No, well it's the second named one.
It's the second named one, but like this is even beyond. They
called it Beyond for a reason. Like very good.
It's beyond even the last one, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is awesome. But yeah, we do have some news to get into, but we might just...
We don't. So just to fill people in...
I mean, we got one of the news things. Next thing.
Well, no, I mean, like, I gotta go, dude. So
you gotta go?
I gotta cut everything because, yeah, Charnel's literally on the verge of throwing up right now. So any news thing we do, we're gonna go too long. And I'm looking at the two things we have here. They're not big deals.
No, gotcha. At least not yet.
One of them potentially is, but yeah. So we can either talk about that next time or film an addendum if it comes down to it. But yeah, I know we're cutting a little short.
So
but
we got to wrap for now, and I want to get back to No Man's Sky, and I also need to take a shower because I did throw the fight. But yeah, that's all for now. I still need to write an outro so I can actually properly outro everybody. But you can find Josh at Bear Punch. You can find me at Justin_Glorious. And of course, you can find all of our stuff at ConCalPod. That's all Twitter stuff. There's also mixer stuff. It's pretty much the same thing. Yep, that's all. So, Razzle Dazzle, God, I hate it every time I read it.
And I love it every time I hear it.
Yeah, until we catch you next time, it's been a genuine pleasure.